HS2's back in the news today. The campaign from for the government to scrap the high-speed rail route and instead stop in Stoke-on-Trent has landed on the Downing Street website. The City Council's deputy leader has started a petition on direct.gov.uk, which so far has 972 signatures. Paul Shotton's the deputy leader. He joins us on BBC Radio Stoke now. Good morning.
Morning, Stuart.
What do you hope this petition will realistically achieve?
Well, we hope that it will force government to reconsider the proposals that Stoke-on-Trent City Council have put forward. We believe we've got an absolutely compelling case to land an HS2 station in Stoke-on-Trent as opposed to the current proposals in Crewe. Our options are cheaper, it could be delivered faster, makes less damage to the environment, and it ultimately offers more connectivity than the Crewe option. So we think we've got a really, really strong business case.
As a council, you get lots of petitions. Do you act on all of them?
No, we don't. It depends on, obviously, the number of signatures received. And this petition's got about 1,000 at the moment, just short of 1,000, but it's only been running for 2 weeks. I looked on the government site and compared it to other petitions, and number-wise, it's doing okay. There's one petition that's been there for quite some time to scrap HS2 completely, which has only got 2,000, and that's a nationwide petition. So the number of signatures on here I find quite encouraging in the amount of time that it's been up online.
Well, you mentioned on the petition that the population of the Stoke-on-Trent area is 470,000. Of that, 972 is a tiny proportion, isn't it?
Absolutely, but really we've only put the petition out and it's word of mouth. So the opportunity to discuss this on Radio Stoke is welcomed. And obviously if we could get just the population of Stoke-on-Trent or that equivalent number to sign, there's 250,000 people. I think more than anything though, Stuart, it's raising awareness of our plans and our proposals and making people aware that there are alternate proposals out there to the Crewe option and that the Stoke-on-Trent option we think is better. Certainly from an economical point of view, from the people of Stoke-on-Trent's perspective, KPMG released a report some time ago saying that we were the only place in the UK that was going to be worse off as a result of HS2 to the tune of £80 million a year. So over 12 years, £1 billion worse off to the people of this city if HS2 lands at Crewe rather than at Stoke. And we'll have poorer services to London. We won't see the potential growth that HS2 could bring. House prices would not rise as fast as they would if we got HS2. Needless to say, there wouldn't be as many jobs in the city if we didn't get HS2 and HS2 was at Crewe versus Stoke.
Even though it's only a few miles up the railway line?
Yeah, well, at the moment, we're very fortunate. We've got a really good service to London, so we're only an hour and a half away from London. HS2 would deliver that service in less than 50 minutes. But the problem is, if you've got to go to Crewe and you've got to change, we actually don't end up being any better off. And we'd be one of the few places in the country that would be worse off as a result.
Couldn't you spend your money on other things that are necessary? Petitioning, for example, to get a high-speed line or a direct line from Stoke to Crewe rather than going up through Kidsgrove and that way?
Well, that doesn't change the economic position and it doesn't change the connectivity.
Well, it would change the connectivity, wouldn't it? It would be one train from Stoke to Crewe, which would probably take 10 or 15 minutes, and then you'd be on HS2.
Well, it'd be 10 or 15 minutes to Crewe, and you'd have to change over at the HS2 stop in Crewe, which is going to be south of Crewe, by the way. It's not actually in Crewe. So the actual time that you've gained, and roughly that's half an hour, you then actually lost. So we see that as being a second best, and why should we petition for second best? The people of this city deserve the best, and that, in our opinion, is an HS2 stop in Stoke-on-Trent.
At what point will you see Crewe as being the place where it goes and it's a done deal and that's what's going to happen?
After this has been voted for in Parliament, David Higgins made a statement a few weeks ago that they were proposing to bring forward the stop in Crewe 7 years earlier. That, we think, was basically, if you like, a copy of the proposal that Stoke-on-Trent had put forward, because we could deliver faster using the existing West Coast main line. So the decision hasn't been taken. It's been stated at the moment this is likely to be taken finally after the general election. Now, from the point of view of who takes that decision, obviously Parliament, well, the Labour Party and the Parliamentary Labour Party are going to have a significant input into whether or not the bill actually goes forward and HS2 does get delivered. So government are relying on the Labour Party in particular, obviously the Lib Dem, the Conservative Liberal coalition. Well, there are a lot of dissenters in Parliament. A lot of MPs are totally against HS2, and this is going to be absolutely critical as to whether actually this is passed. Now, we're talking to big cities like Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, and they support our proposals versus the crew option.
OK, well, we'll leave it there for now, because I know there'll be plenty more talking about HS2 in the future. Councillor Paul Shotton is Labour Deputy Leader of Stoke-on-Trent City Council.